Alrighty, beautiful people. Thank you for coming out tonight. Appreciate it. Um, Pretty much, as I said earlier, we are long overdue for a little guild powwow. There's a couple things we want to address. We've got a couple plans. We got a little bit of news, and essentially, what I want this to be is kind of our real, legitimate jumping off point towards a more successful raiding guild, and really making our 6 hours of raiding a week a lot more enjoyable for everyone. Um, it should be pretty clear that we've definitely hit a bit of a wall. And it's not just against KT. We've had a couple rough weeks here. We lost a couple key players. I think there's a lot of reasons to attribute for a bit of a slowdown across the board. It's not just single people. It's our whole raid group. Now, the big clear issue we're having here is KT. We've spent maybe 7 hours of pulls on him now at this point, and we are really just inching towards something where we really need to be making some strides. So let's go ahead and just start with that. The goal for this guild here, especially in phase 2, is to be making regular 10 out of 10 or at least 9 out of 10 clears in each one of our lockouts. Now, this phase and this content is not exactly friendly to a lot of 6-hour-a-week raiding guilds. We've seen a lot of issues going on with a lot of folks in our position. Luckily, we are in more of a position of strength since we have more of a defined core and a lot of people who are definitely of a higher skill level. So what I want to make sure is that we do not continue taking steps backwards. From here on out, it is only steps forward, and that is going to be the expectation of every single one of us and for the raid as a whole. So our plan here for the next 2 weeks, this coming lockout, we are going to be aiming to, between Tuesday and Thursday, be at least 8 out of 10. Once we have achieved that, we will dictate whether or not we will be doing more KT, if we're going to pop into Vaj, whatever it's going to be. This week, we're kind of just getting back to let's be a fundamentally solid raid guild. Let's get through this trash without wipes from those who enjoyed last week's TK. We've changed how we're going to pull a few things in Void Reaver's rooms to avoid any future wipes there. But last it was definitely a step in the right direction. We ended shitty on Leo, but especially that first half of that raid, guys, we were moving. Shit was clean. I felt good, and I know a lot of other people felt good with it, especially after some rough weeks. So my goal and our goal as leadership is we need to get back to that good feeling of this. We want to be confident in everything we attempt. The following week, so that'll be Tuesday, November the 2nd, Thursday, November the 4th. That Tuesday, we're going to go as far as we can off KT. Thursday, we are putting another full raid night into Kel'Thas. But that week, we are also going to be posting, and hopefully you guys are able to work around schedules to make it happen. But we are going to do really our first Flex Sunday raid night, because this guild needs to kill Kale. We got Vaj down. We took a couple steps back. Our goal here is to progress. We still have progression content, and that also means we need to be coming with a progression mindset, which all of you should know. It's full consumables. It is absolute awareness. It is 110% effort. It is coming into raid, not just raid logging the whole week and being rusty. We don't have time to warm up on trash. So it's coming, bringing everything you've got, doing some work outside of raid to figure out how you can be better, and we're going to touch on this a little bit more. But we're going to be putting up the sign up for that Sunday, and hey, if we push it hard, make it happen for KT on Thursday, we don't have to do a Sunday raid. So what else we are going to do between now and this more serious push with Kael'thas is a couple things. We have been looking at just a little bit of individual review. So, just to be honest, we have some folks still really excelling and pushing in a progression mindset, and we have some folks who are fading a bit. And none of that is something we can't fix or work on. So one thing we want to do is not be the guild that just writes somebody off because of a rough night. We want to be the guild that will actually work with somebody and improve this play. I know everybody in this guild pretty well at this point. I don't have any doubts in anybody's ability to be a very successful raider, contributing a lot to this group. So to also follow up with that, we are going to be looking at some folks. So if you get a message from some of us, over the course of this next week, we may just be making some suggestions. We may be just wanting to talk to you, just in reviews of our KT play and other boss fights. If we just see some room where you can easily improve, we're going to let you know. So we're going to take a more of an active role in that. Please don't take anything as unjust criticism or anything like that. Really, it's just, something's fucked up at work. You want your manager to try and do the right thing to make it all work for everybody, right? We're just trying to make that happen as well. On a bit more of a higher note, somebody that's going to be helping us more with the raids in the future, and especially KT here, and a voice we want everyone to be paying attention to, is our very own Chris Jones. He will be joining us in our little leadership group here, and as well in more of a raid lead position. So we kind of all do a bit of a raid lead by committee. You guys know Beats is the main voice, and all the other officers, we do our part to keep things moving as well. Chris is going to be included in that group, so congratulations, buddy. Chris has been an excellent addition to us here on this server. I'm sure everybody loves him because I fucking do. He's going to be helping us out a lot going forward.
Sucks to be you.
So, just guys going forward in raid, Chris's voice. It's the Chris and Beats. Those are the ones I'm listening to the most, and everybody else should be doing the same. So, congratulations there. It's going to be a big help. Sliz, Beats, Gerald, Chris, I am kind of done rambling. My mouth's dry. Is there anything you would like to add?
Just going to go into a couple of things. We are going to be pushing recruiting. It's not necessarily for any reason other than the fact that, I think another thing that came in and started these slumps for us was having to push and underman raids. It also just has to do with what we're seeing is in certain fights, certain classes, setups, etc. have an advantage. And we have been taking the guild that we have to raid rather than creating the ideal raid. So part of that is going to be recruiting to make sure that we have people in spots. And, I would call it a part of a bench, but it's going to be more of a rotation for certain positions where, you should be seeing raid 3 out of 4 weeks, maybe even 4 out of 4 weeks if somebody needs to take some time off. But that's another thing to kind of get ready for, is that you are going to see some new faces. Please be friendly to them. It's not a matter of a competitive set. It's just more so that we can make sure we have the proper raid group going into progressively harder raids. In addition to that, if any of you don't know how to look at parses, logs, etc., so forth, reach out. We'll be happy to go over them with you. Be happy to show you how to review other people who play your position and see things you can improve on. I think in general we've been able to basically curb stomp everything that we've wanted to do with our current mindset, our current skill set, and whatever we just happen to cobble together on a raid night. We're not going to be doing that anymore. It's just becoming apparent that that's just not going to be good enough to get it done. And to just be perfectly honest, if this could be something that rubs people the wrong way, I urge you to give it a chance and see how it rolls, at least before making any decisions. But, we just want to move forward as maybe slightly less dad core and actually getting this stuff done. I don't think anybody in this room, in this Discord, or anything else would imagine we would be sitting in week, 8?
7 or 8, yeah.
And I think at this point it's time to start making moves to make that happen. And it's not necessarily moves that mean you're not playing well or etc. so forth. It could just be your class is not the ideal fit for us in this particular situation. Doesn't mean we won't get you in for more raids. Doesn't mean we won't get you there. But essentially, we want people to come. We want to be able to bring the right people. And we also want everybody's attitude kind of just as a question overall. Are you wanting to be more sweaty? Because that's what it's going to take to kill it, and that's the direction we're going to push the guild. If you don't want to be more sweaty, or you don't know how to be more sweaty, we can work on that. But generally speaking, it's just a lack of sweat in some places, in a lot of places, myself included, pretty much everybody would look at. other than like 800 Sapper Beatitudes. So we're going to be making a push towards that and kind of pushing people to play more, get their consumes right during the week, get their out of rate upgrades done, things of that nature. We're going to need everything that we can get. And like I said, like we need 5 heal, and there's other things we need to do for Kale. So in terms of raid composition and construction, if you don't get picked, don't take it personally. You just don't happen to be playing the right class this week.
Yes, and to follow up this as well, we are also going to, if we're going to be doing a bit of a rotating sit, once we have a couple more raiders in this guild, we are going to be doing a better job of looking forward and letting folks know ahead of time. We know it's not fun if you log in for raid and 5 minutes before we're asking you to sit. We know that's not like the best means of communicating that. So what we're going to try and do is plan ahead more. Let people be aware, and of course attendance always makes a big difference. If we ask you to sit out 1 week and then the person who would kind of be in your spot that week all of a sudden can't show up because of late at work or something like that, come right on in, as long as we can make it work. So these aren't hard set in stone things. They will be kind of liquid in how we approach them.
I think that we would all benefit from more people at this point. I do think that there's been a little bit of a touch of burnout with some of the people we've lost in the last month or so. I think adding people to give people a breather, I think it also adds contrast, and it makes you more hungry for the times you're playing. So.
Yeah, and we're not going to be server first guys or anything like that. This isn't what it is. But if we want to be successful consistently, we all need to step it up a bit in order to make these 6 hours a week really worthwhile. Otherwise, do we have any other little notes? I think.
Chris needs to have speech.
Speech. No. So thanks guys. I appreciate the upgrade, whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, it's the same stuff. And when they asked me to join, I was kind of saying a lot of the same stuff. But ultimately, all I'm trying to get from people is, if we want to kill stuff and we get stuff down, people need to come. They need to be ready, and especially during progression, this is the time to give it your all. If you're not willing to give it your all, then let us know, or if there's anything that you need help with. I know I just made about 100 something for action potions for people to use. I have the time, I have the ability to help people. So if you need help being prepared, let me know. I'll help you wherever I can. But it also comes on you to know. You need to know what you need help with, and the majority of preparing is just logging on, not even every day, just logging on once or twice a week, do your dailies, and you'll have plenty of gold to get whatever you need for consumables. So, yeah, just hoping I can help push people to try a little bit harder and get the most out of the 6 hours that we're trying to finish all this stuff in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, got a lot of what we chat about on a pretty routine basis these days is just everything we can do to make this KT or kill a reality. So, again, I strongly encourage everyone to do a little more independent research. There's a couple ideas and strategies that have been popping up that's been coming through our way that we're likely going to implement. Beats, I know you had mentioned wanting to put together a bit of a video resource as well for folks to further outline a couple things. A lot of this fight and a lot of what's going to lead to our success in transitioning from Phase 3 to Phase 4 is not only going to be a little higher DPS, we got to squeeze out some more damage juice, but it's also going to be absolute awareness. There's going to be a lot of things going on once KT is out, once these Phoenixes are out, once mind controls are going, once we still got another ad. Things are going to get hectic, as we've already seen. As soon as we hit that hectic wall, we're done. Or you count us out at that point, and that's no longer going to be us. For as much as you prepare before raid, come into raid knowing what is going on around you. The tunnel vision is going to get you killed. And the tunnel vision from more than one person is going to get all of us killed. So let's bring it outside and inside of raid, and I think as I said, we want to be done with this slump. I'm sure everybody can agree. We'd all like to be done with the slump. This guild is important to everyone here, I really think, and we have a special group of folks here, and honestly, we're lucky that this wonderful group of people does have a lot of raw capability. We can really get some shit done. Some of the best people I've ever played this game with are in this guild and in this stupid fucking boat in the sky right now. And I appreciate that, and that is something we should all be, inspired by. I pretty much think that's about everything we want to chat with. I did want to take an opportunity. We never really. Well, did you have something else?
I just wanted to highlight. I only think there's Pog in here that is unaware of the site. That's my biz site. I don't know if he's familiar with it, but if he's not, I just wanted to give a rundown because I just noticed there's quite a few people still. I appreciate the people that have updated and modified their wish lists on That's My Biz. I see there's a few people here that have modified it in the last few weeks. I really appreciate it. I'd like for people to try to update their stuff for Tier 5. Try to strictly keep your wish list stuff set to SSC and TK content. This especially helps us because, I'm going to probably start making more of an effort, maybe even incorporating That's My Biz wish list add-on into my WoW client so that I can actually see your wish list items in real time. We use RC Loot Council in coordination with That's My Biz. And so we would like to actually be able to see if you have specific items that you're looking for. I know we have a really good idea of what items are heavy priority for different classes. However, we don't want to necessarily dismiss stuff that you really have your eye on. Like if you really have a specific item that you are hell-bent on trying to get, I mean, as long as it makes sense, we're not trying to have like a shock it in DPS here, but we do want to know, and we don't want you to get frustrated if we're not aware of it. So this is the best way to communicate that to us. Like, hey, if you have specific things that you think we might not be aware of, please communicate that by throwing that on your wish list, because it's something that over the course of time, as I see this get more and more filled out, it will be used more and more heavily. So, Pog, I did create a character for you on there. Basically, anybody that's been in a raid has a character on that site because that's what is registered. That's what the loot is registered against. So, if you have not claimed that, please go on to that'smybiz.com. It'll automatically pull your account from Discord, and that's how it uses to tie in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take it a step further. Like, this is a part of that sweat that we need, guys. This is something very simply that you can do at any given time during the day. So, get it done as soon as possible. We'll discuss it amongst the officers. We will also let you guys know by next Thursday's raid who still hasn't done it. I'm going to go as far as saying that it's going to affect loot. You guys need to be doing this. Like, this is the kind of stuff that we need to be doing, taking it a little more seriously, investing a little more time, and this is a very simple training wheels exercise. So please get on there, get your best list filled out. If you need help with it, again, you can ask and we'll help you.
Mm-hmm.
But, this kind of whole, like, we'd like you to do this stuff and everything, like, at this point, guys, it's going to become an expectation. So please just go get it done. Like I said, we'll give you guys all a warning on Thursday, and then, if we decide amongst the officers that it's going to affect loot the following raid week, if you don't have it done, then we will announce that as well. But please take it seriously. Please spend the time, guys. Like, we're only raiding 6 hours. And if we want to keep it that way, we need to be putting in the time outside of raid.
Yes, sir.
one thing I also want to piggyback off of that is during grades, we want to keep it light, we want to keep it fun, but we need to make sure that we're paying attention to what's actually being said. If someone's describing something and explaining something, try to keep the jokes and stuff aside just while we're explaining and then come back in and have fun. But like if an officer's trying to speak up and say something, it's because they think it's important and it'll help kill the boss. What's not going to help kill a boss is trying to have fun over that. There's a time to be funny, a time to have fun, but we're also trying to do progression, so you can't have both at the same time. So just be aware of that and don't try to dick around too much.
There's nothing more fun than a fresh boss kill, baby. That's what we need to keep our eye on.
Nothing more fun than screenshots.
Nothing more fun. I know my screen. I haven't taken the screenshot button's getting dusty, guys. So yeah. So take this moment as the one where we write the course of this ship. Haha, we're on a boat. We don't look as bad as this boat though. And really, Beats, did you have anything you want to throw in, or are you just chilling? I know you're probably in hash brown mode right now.
Yeah, I'm drinking a coffee.
Good.
No, sure. Everything sounds appropriate. I mean, as far as specifically towards phase 2 with like recruiting and sitting and ideal setups with stuff that we're talking about and being prepared and all that kind of stuff. Take everything within reason. Be strapped, be ready to go. Make sure you're doing stuff at the appropriate times. Other than that, the main issue for us here is that like 90% of 95% of TBC seems to be stuff that we could just blah 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 and get through based on our abilities as players and all that kind of stuff. And KT seems to just not be able to be done specifically the way we are trying to do him, or we're just like bringing an extra tank and bringing an extra healer and bringing an extra melee DPS. It just really seems not to be possible. One thing, just to talk to you guys a little bit about that. We had our first 3 hours on Kael'thas, and then we went back and our guild got like 30 pieces of gear or so, like 25 pieces of upgrades. And then our second time we went to do Kael'thas for 3 hours, we progressed basically by like 30 seconds more into the fight. So basically like 25 upgrades on our raid group only bought us 25 seconds of progress on Kael'thas, which that's progress, but it's not necessarily a lot. So we just want to make sure that the raid composition is correct for Kael'thas. For everything else, like I said, it seemed to not really matter. We're just going to chill. But we're probably just going to have like a roster of 28, 29 people, and we'll rotate people in and sitting, and hopefully we'll have a schedule for that. Like, probably like 1 week every 4 weeks, or 1 week every 5 weeks. It's going to be you're up to be sitting and stuff like that. And me personally, I'm personally totally fine with that. I want to go hit hot springs on a week or something like that. Like I'll plan it for my off week or something. Or say, hey, can I take the off week this week? Something like that. That's cool with me. That's just where we're going. Because I'll tell you, just for one, for example, we were 3 tanking Kael'thas. So basically, during our most difficult phase, which was phase 3 in Kael'thas, last 3 hours, I was basically just a dead spot in the raid as a 25th player, which we could have had another ranged DPS in there providing hopefully around 1,000 DPS instead of me. So we need to be 2 tanking Kael'thas, we need to be 5 healing Kael'thas, and we're probably going to have a max of 4 melee characters in there. That's just basically what it means. So we're going to be a little bit more strict for those kind of fights. And then for everything else, excuse me, we'll do it like we normally do it. But to facilitate those kind of fights and rotate people in and get people the gear that they need off that, we just need to run a little bit of a bigger roster. And there are plenty of guilds exploding and getting destroyed on ATS recently.
Yep.
So we're going to take in some refugees and hopefully bring them home. That's it. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I want to go kill some Karazhan.
Yes, yes. Well, let's get things wrapped up here, guys. Again, thank you for the time. If you have anything you want to ask or whatever, right now would be a good time. We can also submit questions later in writing or in blood writing. That's how we prefer it.
Only virgins.
Only virgins. Anyway, all right. I think we're all good. Appreciate you guys. You're all lovely. Get a portal out of here.
Is busy with work for the next month, so he didn't necessarily quit Mana Charger. It's just he has to take a month off.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah. So he, his, just a very light explanation. His child had a COVID scare. He had to quarantine, and the project that he was working on, the deadline did not change. So he's basically working like double
Amazing
amount of
work.
hours. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Lots of work. Which is fine. That's why we're gonna get some more
Chris,
folks in here and
I
make sure
hate
this is
you.
sexy.
I
Did you,
actually did that on accident.
Chris? You
We'll
are
summon you back.
toxic.
Toxic
I'm
as
hard.
shit.
Wait, can we even
shut
summon
up.
here
No, you can't summon there.
Yes, you can.
in the
Oh, if you
Nether?
go to Cosmo Ranch, right?
Good choice on getting a toxic officer.
Right. Just
Man.
another one.
Can't even
He's like, guys, I'm giving you guys a port here. Don't mind me.
All right. I can. If you guys are interested in doing Karazhan, stay in this raid. Kansei, I will give you. Or you're having making a new one? Okay. Forget what I said. Not important.
Can I come on my mage?
Depends on how horny you are.
How in tune with your body are you? Oh, guys, this is included in the recording. Perfect. I'm gonna cut it out here. We'll save this for whoever didn't make it.
Well, I gotta work tomorrow, but I'd be down to